of your ministry that you're nominated for.
Thank you, Daud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to the nominee, he's been a former governor of Nakuru, and myself, I'm the patron for street families in Meru for the last 20 years. Can the nominee confirm, during his tenure as the governor for Nakuru, he picked up all the street families, street boys and girls, put them in a truck and went and threw them in a forest? That's an allegation which he would need to confirm. Secondly, I would want to ask the nominee, because he's going to, the manufacturing sector has remained stagnant for many years. It contributes 11% of the GDP. What measures would you take to promote the local manufacturing industry, because they are the backbone of this of country, in the sense that they can contribute more than what they have. The last one is domestic investors in the recent past have not given prominence as opposed to foreign investors, because foreign investors come, they get many incentives, tax incentives and other incentives, which are not available to our domestic investors. If you do get approved, how are you going to assist our domestic investors gain a foothold, because they do not have a foothold in this trade in the country? Thank you, Chair.
Can you answer those?
Thank you, Chair. I wish to start with the Honorable Majority Leader.
Chairman, not Chair.
Thank you. With respect
I'm sitting on a chair, but I'm the chairman.
It's been long. I stand corrected. Go ahead. I wanted to respond. The issue of the contribution of industry to GDP has declined. But the truth also is that from independence to date, our economy has diversified. There are many things that were not there. For example, Kenya is among the top in geothermal in the world. Actually, in Africa, we are a case study. Sometimes when you're looking at industries, we don't see that as an industry. If you look at the flower export business, that's a whole industry unto itself. We are probably the fourth and the best in the whole of Africa. So sometimes when you're defining industry, we are defining it from the way we knew it then. But industry is very dynamic. Even the M-Pesa platform, it in itself is a whole industry, financial industry, that has completely reconfigured our economy. So I think as we move forward, and the banking industry, Kenya is not just an economy to itself. I mean, all these regional countries look up to Kenya. So I think sometimes when you say that our contribution has gone lower, it sometimes is taken to mean like we are stagnating. It is not entirely true. Actually, we are diversifying.
The members are talking about the prism of manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm also calling upon us to see manufacturing in the broader context.
Yeah, actually, I would like to comment about the manufacturing, and I want to echo what the Emir has said. Personally, I was doing manufacturing industry. I was doing manufacturing of vehicles, and we had to close down. And if you go to industrial area today, you'll find that all the godowns are closed down. So I think it's good to accept that there's a problem, and then we sit down, we involve all the stakeholders, and then we see what we can do so that we can now open those industries.
Go on. That's a personal testimony.
Thank you, and I appreciate. Yes. So I think the point is, do we have a problem with the growth of industry? I said where we started in the year 1963 and the session of paper, and where we ought to be today, there is a clear challenge. The issue is how we can unlock that challenge. One of them, I said, was the cost of energy. The other issue is also getting into agreements that allow flooding of goods into the country, thereby disadvantaging our local people. The issue of taxation sometimes, without looking at the broader impact of that on the industry becomes another bigger problem. I also wish to cite the issue of financing. If anybody wants to start an industry today and you go to a normal commercial bank, the period they give you is normally not more than 10 years. At an interest rate of 18%, you cannot survive. Again, we do not have banks that are aligned to industry, ones that appreciate the whole value chain of industry that can help our local manufacturers to work together. And therefore, I invite the members as we try and reconfigure how we can move from here forward and encouraging local investors, those who are there to see how they can grow, and I think also more importantly, encouraging the younger ones. The majority leader also talked about the cottage industries. I think sometimes we overfocus on the big bulk industries. But the truth is, if you go to every village, the potential to have small industries that can employ 10, 20 people, get the raw materials from the village becomes a big issue, partly because of employment in the rural areas. And you do not want a situation where everybody has to leave their rural areas to come to town to find labor. So we'll also try and look at how we can be able to encourage cottage industries all the way down into the rural spaces. Then on the issue of sustainable industrial growth, I think it's also very important that we don't just seek to have industries that will come, create jobs for 1, 2, 3 years, and then from there, they are gone. And I think looking at Kenya's position with respect to sustainability, especially on energy, we have a big step that we've already made. But I think there are critical decisions that need to be made with respect to energy that would help us to overcome. The Deputy Speaker has mentioned the issue of clinker and companies that have now to import clinker at a higher level, which means some of them are actually on the verge of closing. I think sometimes when some of this legislation comes, it would be wise to give the industry time, in which case you say within the next 3 years, everybody should invest in clinker mining. So that if you're a local company and you know between now and then the duty will import duty will continuously go up by 5% or 10%, then it means you have to look for alternatives, and government can give them time. But some of these drastic decisions will send our local companies to the gallows. And if you look at the exports to our neighboring countries, without mentioning, cement is one of the big commodities that we are exporting, including steel. So when you come and also extinguish our companies here, we are also shooting ourselves within the regional export market. The Honorable Dawood has mentioned street children were rounded, don't know, taken somewhere. I think it is good to say that even if they are street children...
It was alleged.
Alleged.
You remember, Lee?
Yes, it was.
That in an attempt to make Nakuru attractive and make it a city, you picked street children, some street families, put them on the trucks, and went and dumped them in AJAABU forest. That
Mr.
was.
Speaker.
I'm saying, let me finish. Because you remember this matter came up in the Senate?
Yes.
And AJAABU forest was said to be infested with hyenas and other dangerous wild animals, and some of those children were never found.
Mr. Speaker, it is extremely wrong.
I have used the word very advisedly, alleged.
I also have many allegations about everybody else. So if it's about allegations, I think we can also come up with allegations. But
I advise you not to lose your cool. Just answer questions.
It's about my integrity.
The way they are asked.
We also have
Yes.
allegations, if it's
Yes.
about allegations.
Just answer questions the way they're asked. That's what Dawood asked. And I was making it clear to you because you remember this matter was in the House of Senate for quite some time. So go ahead and answer. If it is not true, even no is an answer.
Even me, I said alleged. I didn't say he has done it.
If you lose your cool, you will be unable to answer the next questions.
I have faced worse situations, but I just wanted to say I have my conscience, right? I can never do that. And the unfortunate thing, including at the Senate is politicians who are there. And the people who are sponsoring it today, you know, I think let's also be fair. You can't call a governor to come and answer to allegations put by their opponent who have intentions to go to an elective position, and then use that allegation later against him. If there are people, this country has the best intelligence in the region. We have never said even one name, you know. So I think let us also respect the institutions we work for. And I would say for Kenya and for posterity, the opportunity to serve in these institutions should not be personalized for gain. Because I was there, Mr. Speaker, you know, throughout that period. How come only those people are known by politicians? Which family has ever come out? So I think it's good to be fair and also respect the positions we have. So in short, Bwana Dawood, that is an act of fiction.
Bwana Chairman, I don't have any interest in Nakuru. So I'm not a politician from Nakuru. It is alleged, that's what I said, we wanted a clarification. Governor should not feel offended. Should not
Don't apologize. Lee, you know, an opportunity like this is very good for you to clear some of those things, not to feel slighted, because nobody is slighting you. You are being asked questions in good faith.
Well taken, Speaker.
Yes, Ferdinand?
He is not finished.
No, he has finished.
Mr. Speaker, there was a secondary question.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
There was a secondary question
From Dawood.
From Dawood. With respect to local investors feeling slighted, and sometimes when you talk about investment, we are largely perceived to be talking about foreign investors. And I think I want to identify with that. There was a situation where some local investors were looking for an appointment with an office, a big office in government, in the county governments, and they kept on looking for that appointment for 6 months, until one day they changed and said they are from another country. They got the appointment the following day. So I think we must agree, the first investors must be you and I, the people who live here in Kenya. And even if the foreigners are to come here, they will make a call to those who are already here. So good referrals mean everything. So Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I want to agree with Dawood that a lot must be done to encourage local investment. And maybe while still on the issue of local investment, allow me to say that there's a marked difference between the attitude of Kenyans about Kenya and the attitude of foreigners about Kenya. And I think this speaks a lot to what he's saying. If you look at the investments that have happened in the country in the last 3-4 years, from GTC here in Nairobi to other major foreign direct investments coming here, it is huge, and it is a testament of the confidence in largely the country and the region, for that matter. But sometimes Kenyans are also caught up in a web of negativity. So foreigners will see what we can't see. So we need to come up together. The jobs that are being created are for us. And if the owners of the country think different from foreigners, then before long, they will come and invest everything, and we'll have nowhere to go because of our attitude. So one of the areas I wish to engage in, further to what the Honorable Dawood has said, is to also engage in the attitudes. And maybe also to request Kenyans, when you're looking at your country, don't look at it in the lenses of your politicians. This is your country. You can change your MP, you can change your MCA.
Point of order, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, this word of politicians has been repeated severally. And for us, we are leaders and we are also politicians. So does it mean that if somebody is a politician, cannot give any views or ask questions, and whether he does it, it is wrong or it is witch-hunting? We need some elaboration on that.
Well, proceed on the basis that a politician is not necessarily an irrational person. Irrational people are found everywhere, even out, and you are a politician too.
Yeah.
We were
Mr.
with
Chair.
you in the House. You became governor. Take it in that stride, that avoid unhelpful mentioning of politician. Just answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, maybe I can withdraw the term politician, but I meant that, you know, Kenya, if everybody out there sees the good of Kenya and the best of Kenya, let me not allow myself, if somebody has a different view, to change me. I think that's all I'm trying to say. And this is our country.
Ferdinand?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the presentation. Now,
Then give it to
Speaker.
Morgana so that you continue enjoying.
No. Let me get to specifically what I want him to answer. I think this challenge facing our Kenya's export. Sometimes back, and I was a regional sales and marketing manager of those 13 countries. You would go to Middle East and had milk from Kenya. Today you go to Middle East, there's no milk at all. From Kenya, you'd rather have it, you find